Okay, this is just straight off the cuff. Some people know that I've done characters, started doing them when I was pretty young. For Lauren, my daughter, when she was growing up, and anyway, it just spun off into mimicking people that I've met at work and whatnot. And so I've picked up quite a few characters just from personalities. Some of them I've mixed, and I've come up with different people by combining little ticks and quirks that individuals have. Started wearing hats out in public years ago, being bald-headed. You need something to keep your head covered. I would run into people that knew me, and they would not know me if I had a hat on. Say if I met them in church and they'd only seen me without a hat, then there was a few people I'd walk up and say something to them, and it would kind of frighten them like I was some total stranger. I'd take off my hat and it's, oh, hey, how you doing? So anyway, I got to thinking, well, gosh, with that ability, I ought to be able to put on, a hat and, be whatever character I wanted to be, and nobody recognized who I was, because I'd already been doing the voice changes and doing little hand puppets and stuff, for Lauren when she was growing up. So I started stumbling across hats, and I would eventually end up going to garage sales and things like that and found glasses. So I would combine the hats and glasses and come up with individual characters, and I would use the voices and tics of the people that I met in order to do these characters. So I've got several of my hats and glasses sitting around here, so I just wanted to do some stuff on the fly just to see how many I can do back to back, and hopefully not mess this up too bad. First character's name is Joey. Most of the kids recognize him.
My name is Joey, and one thing that I could always tell you is that there's going to be people out there that are they're nuts. They don't accept everybody. They go strictly by how you look, or how you, if you're not in their clique, or if you don't do what they do, they kind of put you on the outs. And sometimes if people are so-called ugly, you don't give them as much attention as maybe you do pretty people, or you don't think that people are smart because they don't look smart, or they don't dress smart. And that's not smart to be that way. I like to wear hats, and this is probably my favorite because it says John 3:16, and that's probably the most quoted verse in the Bible. It was God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life. And everybody's heard that. You see it at the football game, John 3:16. They hold it up. You see it everywhere. So the problem is that you've got people that forget about John 3:17, and they want to condemn Christianity for people being hypocritical. Well, that's because everybody's flawed, and they all make mistakes. So what you do is you look at John 3:17, where Jesus said, I didn't come to condemn the world but to save it. So forget about the condemnation stuff and just get your act right, and you don't really have anything to worry about. It's just that simple. Anyway, this is Joey. That's my spill. Think I'll let you talk to Mildred next.
My name is Mildred, and no, I'm not your mother, but maybe somebody ought to be if you haven't been taught lessons. Things are important, and you need to be taught by your elders, people that are older than you. Even if you're 60, somebody that's 70 is your elder, and they can teach you a lot of things. And there's things that you learn throughout your life that it's really important to pay attention, because it comes down to respect. And I had made a statement one day about I didn't like seeing all the people in the restaurants eating with their hats on, because I was brought up to believe that you just don't do that. It's disrespectful to sit down at the table and eat with your hats on. Well, I happened to be so upset about that I got out my little phone and started rubbing on it, and I sent out a text message or a Facebook message to let everybody know how perturbed I was about people not taking their hats off when they were eating dinner. So what I did is I evidently flared some young lady up that she was in probably her 20s, and she immediately asked me, well, what are you doing on your telephone while you're sitting at the dinner table? Well, the first instance, it kind of upset me, because I thought, here I am being corrected by somebody that's so young, and it was just wrong for me to have to be corrected by somebody so young. But the more I noodled on it, the more I got to thinking, well, maybe she's right. Maybe I shouldn't be on the phone. Granted, we had just sat down and ordered our meal, and we were waiting on somebody to come and serve us, so I thought I had a few minutes to discuss my irritation with people wearing their hats. But anyway, since then I've decided that I'm going to leave the texting and stuff alone when I'm at the dinner table, and I'm going to sit down and pay attention to who I'm eating with, because if you're texting and all that, you're really not paying much attention to anybody that you're sitting with, and it's kind of rude. And anyway, I don't want to get on a high horse or anything, but if you go out to eat, take your hat off if you wear a hat, and if you don't wear a hat but you see somebody in there wearing a hat, walk up and slap it off their head. Well, maybe you ought not do that. You might end up with a fight. Be in Roadhouse, the Texas Roadhouse, they'll throw peanuts at you. Anyway, this is Mildred. Bye.
My name is James Witherspoon. Some people call me T, because it's James T. Witherspoon. Not teaspoon, not tablespoon, Witherspoon. James T. Witherspoon. You can call me T, and that's not T-E-E, it's just T. They call me T. I asked Mama one day, I said, why you name me T? She said, I don't know, it just fit. I said, fit what? I said, it fit with James and Witherspoon. The T just sounds good. It's kind of like James Tiberius Kirk on Star Trek. James T. Kirk. It just sounds good, got a good ring to it. So sometimes people call me James T. When I was in trouble out there in the field, should have been working, I was peeling around, James T. But anyway, when they're happy and they like me, I'll come on T, time to eat. I like that. So anyway, T kind of stuck. And I like being called T. So you just call me T. But one of the things that I noticed the other day, don't have nothing to do with names or being called T or anything, but I was driving down the road, I was behind somebody, and I was traveling kind of close, but not too close, but I noticed when they were going down the road, they swerved for a little bit and then got back straight. And I thought, well, they texting while they're driving or busy talking on the phone, or they doing something. But I was up there close behind them, and as soon as they swerved, the next thing I know, boom, boom, I'm hitting a big old pothole. And that made me stop and think. So, well, them people wasn't texting or anything like that when they're driving. What it is they were so familiar with that road that they knew that pothole was there. Or, at least they saw it ahead of time. And, some people, they travel the same path all the time, and they see them potholes. They learn how to avoid those potholes so it don't jar you so much. Boom, boom, you just, oh, pothole, boom, boom, Well, you don't want to hit them potholes. And the same thing in life, you see things that are kind of disturbing to you, and you don't want to end up making the same mistakes twice, In other words, you hit a pothole in life or have a problem because of something you did that was a little off key or stupid or silly or whatever. Well, you learn after that first time, hopefully, that you're not going to hit that same pothole again. You get used to traveling the same road all the time, because most of your life's fairly consistent. Ain't nothing wrong with that, unless you feel like you're in a rut, time to change something. But
You know, you seek out the good Lord and you ask him what kind of life you would, you know, he would like for you to have, how you would like to live, and just kind of study your life a little bit and see if you can, you know, make sense of things a little bit more. But watch out for them potholes, because, and sometimes them potholes the good Lord put there for a reason. It'd be like, you know, you driving down the road and all of a sudden, boop, boop, you know, you will hit a pothole, and it's because God put that pothole there. It's like, hey, wake up. Have I got your attention? So, you know, when that's just the way life is that you're going to have potholes in life. But the main thing is pay attention. Keep your eyes open, pay attention. And life will be a whole lot easier. And not only that, you can go and, after you learn a few things about potholes, the people traveling behind you, they'll see you swerve. See? And they'll say, that guy knows something about a boop, boop. Oh, I hit a pothole. That's what he was swerving for. Well, see, just like me, I learned from the person in front of me, and you pass it along, and it's just like throwing a rock in the pond. Them little ripples, they go out and they come back, and we teach each other lessons, you know, by things like that. So, anyway, this is T. It's been good talking to you, and I think I'm gonna let you talk to a buddy of mine by the name of Clevis Horse. He's a good dude, kind of funny, country boy. Anyway, this T. See ya. Hey, this Clevis Horse. And I know you probably seen me on YouTube thinking maybe I was one of those radical NRA pro-gun advocate fellas, and you was right. I think you ought to shoot everybody at least once. Wing them real good, and you know, you don't have to hurt them, tase them, whatever. Just do something to get their attention, because it's really important that you be able to get somebody's attention when things ain't quite right. Now granted, we ain't supposed to shoot everybody and probably end up with, well, it would help the people at the hospital, because there'd be more people up there, you know, with a good solid job, because they'd be busy patching up bullet holes. But now on the straight side of it, I think it's really important that we be able to protect our home. And you know, you really ought to have a gun in the house. You know, keep it locked up where the kids can't get to it and all that. But if it took up all the guns, and you had somebody trying to break in your house, you better be pretty fast or pretty accurate with a knife that you can throw. I doubt you're gonna have time to get out your crossbow or your bow and arrow. And most people don't have rocks in the house. I mean, I guess you could probably find something around the house to pick up and throw. But if they come in the house and they got a knife or a gun, and you kind of outnumbered just by weapons, and you know, somebody's gonna do something to your family, your kids, and all that. You know, it's that baseball bat that's leaned up against the wall. It might be all right if you can get close enough without getting plugged yourself. You know, they say always run in a zigzag that way, 50-50 shot. You know, they might miss you if they're shooting at you. But anyway, like I said, if you got a gun in the house, I think it's a good thing. It needs to be used wisely, and by all means, don't shoot yourself. You know, that would not be good. But people at the hospital be real nice to you, I'm sure, and pat you up, and probably wouldn't call you too stupid. But anyway, just that's something to think about. Everybody ought to have a gun, and everybody ought to fight for, you know, Second Amendment rights, and I just think that's the way it ought to be. Anyway, this is my spiel. I'm Clevis Horse. It's good to see you. I'm gonna let you talk to a gentleman by the name of Seth, and he's a pretty good old boy.